Hello, everyone. This is Two Cents Worth. I'm your host, Ryan DeFaber. This show, we talk about sports, fitness, and life. We talk about my life, we talk about my fitness journey, and we talk about my life in sports and my opinions on all those things. So sit back and relax and enjoy the show. All right, we're going to jump right into it today. We are going to be talking about rest days. Why recovery and rest are crucial for your training. Right? So, for any of you that follow along, I work out 5-6 times a week. I incorporate cardio into that, weight training, all types of training, Peloton, all that type of stuff, right? Stretching, anything to help myself get stronger and stay fit as best as I can as a 36-year-old. Don't want to say former athlete, but I'm a former athlete, right? I'm old. I'm older now, 2 kids, everything else, but I want to stay fit. At the same time, I'm now experiencing more fatigue, nicks, bumps, dinged up a little more in my body as I get older and I put more stress on it. And, my routine is different and I'm, not able to do certain things I might have been able to do at 21, 18 years old, whatever it might be. So, I want to talk to you guys about why rest is important and why, if you have this mental block that if I take a rest day, I'm losing my gains, or if I take a rest day, I'm not going to be able to be as strong as I want. That's 100% not true, right? So rest days, as long as I've been working out, are always, I've never had a program that there isn't a rest day incorporated in it, because if you work out continuously, rigorously, you need those rest and recovery days, because what you are doing is you are breaking your body down, fatiguing your body, and your body needs time to basically rebuild itself. That is why rest days are important. Now, there's a difference of a full rest day and also an active rest day, to where you do light activity, whether it is go on a light bike ride, go on a walk, stretch, do yoga, whatever it might be. There's an active rest day, and then there is a rest day where it is you take off the day, and it gives your body the time that it needs to repair itself, right? Because in weight training and in cardio and anything else that you're putting your body through, you wake up the next morning, you're sore. What it is that you've torn your muscles, right? You've worked your body, you've worked the muscles. They are sore. They need to repair themselves. So rest day allows the body's muscles to recover from any damage that they've sustained during your workouts and allows them to grow, hence how you get stronger, right? You wake up and you're sore, that means that you have basically damaged your muscles, and when the muscle repairs itself after a workout, it is actually making it stronger and grow bigger, right? And so what I'm going to do is, today I'm just going to talk about some of these things, rest days, the importance of it, the benefits of it, all that type of stuff. And let me tell you also from like an ego perspective, and I just mentioned it earlier, right? Like, I can't take a rest day. I need these gains. I can't take a rest day. I'll fall behind on my progress. I can't take, sometimes here, a rest day can end up being a rest week, right? Because sometimes the body just needs that, right? And a lot of people think if I take a week off, I'm going to come back so much weaker. And that is not true. You actually do not lose much, if any, of your strength if you take a week off. Your body at times, especially if you push it through a lot of strenuous workouts day over day, week over week, month over month, needs that rest, right? If you're not getting proper sleep, if you're not hydrating yourself properly, right? The muscles need water as well. So you need to ensure that you're drinking water on an active rest day, making sure that you're staying hydrated through that rest day as well, because your body and your muscles are repairing itself, and how they need that and what they need is that H2O. Okay. So, here's what I always like to say is, if you think that you don't need a rest day, or you think that, my program shouldn't have a rest day in it, or I'm doing a program that doesn't have a rest day in it, or in order for me to, become a superior athlete or the strongest I possibly need, I can't take a rest day. I'm going to tell you something right now. Okay. Olympic athletes, right? This is their entire livelihood, right? Olympic athletes probably train harder than any athletes around. Professional athletes, Olympic athletes. Olympic athletes train all day, every day to achieve their dream of getting that gold medal, right? And it takes a certain mentality, a certain persistence and passion to do that. At the same time, even Olympic athletes have rest days that are incorporated in their routine. Okay? They are the upper echelon of athletes in their sport. But their bodies, and it's not just the body too. I've kind of talked about that just now over the last couple minutes, but it is your mind as well. Your body and mind need the time to restore and reset just like anybody else. So that's just another example of, if you're letting your ego kind of get in the way of, I don't need to take a rest day, I don't need to do this, this is the program that I'm on, and this is why I'm going to be better than you. I'm going to tell you something. Every athlete, professional, if you are into bodybuilding, bodybuilders take rest days. Olympic athletes take rest days. These extremely, extremely talented, the best of the best, the one percenters take rest days. They need to repair and rejuvenate their body and their mind. When you go hard at the gym, it damages your muscle fibers. It creates mini tears. Again, hence the soreness. Why you wake up the next morning, you're like, oof, man, it was a good workout, but man, I'm definitely sore. That is your body telling you that it has basically damaged itself. Now, I've said it a few times, damage, tore. That sounds horrible. It doesn't sound good. It is the proper, I don't know what else to say. It's the proper terminology for it. That's exactly what you're doing. And it actually does help build your muscle in the long run. Hence what I just said, right? You need the time for your muscles then to basically rebuild themselves. And when they do that from your tears and the damages that you're doing to them, they get stronger. And when you do that, you have to take that time off to rest your muscles, right? I see people a lot of times go, well, I did legs yesterday, so I won't do legs again for 2 more days, because it gives them the time to recuperate. But it's like, yeah, but you're also now not giving your body rest in general, right? So yes, you might have been giving your legs a rest, but now your upper body is being put through strenuous activity. And then the next day you're going back to legs. And then, oh, it's my shoulders, it's not my chest. Or, or I'll take core off today and I'll just do it tomorrow. And it's like, but you have to understand your body, right? And again, the mind needs the rest, right? You can sit there and try and talk about how your body doesn't need the rest and how you can just move from one muscle group to the next and kind of avoid the same muscle group, consecutive days to give them that rest and recuperation. But it's your mind as well. Your mind will break down because your body is breaking down. I've seen it. I've witnessed it. I've been a part of it. You lose that motivation. Your body gets so tired. You wake up and you're like, man, I just don't want to do it. I can't do it today. It's just, I'm exhausted, right? And you might feel good. Your body might feel good. And you're like, no, I can go to the gym today, but you're just overly exhausted mentally. Your body and mind wears itself down. That is why rest and recovery are so important, right? It's why you need to incorporate them into your routines. If you have a routine that does not have rest days in it, I really encourage you to look at that and figure out why and maybe reassess your program. Okay? because long term, in the short term, it might work, right? You might have an 8-week program, a 4-week, a 6-week, a 12-week program that doesn't have any rest days in it. Eventually, your body is going to break down enough that it will need the rest. It will need the recovery. And at what cost? Have you hurt yourself during that program? Have you worn yourself down so much during that program that when you actually need the rest or your body finally breaks itself down, have you overworked yourself? Have you gotten to the point to where now you've finished your program and you really lost all motivation to have another program? Because if you really want to continue working out and continue to better yourself, it's not a quick fix. It's not a 4-week program. It's not a 6-week program. It's not an 8 or a 12-week program. It is a year-over-year program. And if you're not taking care of your body and treating it properly, and your mind, right? Your mind is part of your body. You are going to potentially not meet the goals that you've set for yourself and not become the athlete or, have the physical attributes that you wanted or achieve what you were set out to achieve during your program in the long term. Short-term goals and gains can sometimes be detrimental to the long term. Okay? So, again, professional athletes, the best of the best, Olympic athletes, the best of the best, bodybuilders, anybody that does physical activity that is the best of the best has rest days. Now, why do you not have rest days? Why do you not try and get your body to recover? Because right now, I'm going to tell you this right. For me, 36 years old, I've never had any surgery, thankfully, knock on wood. I've never had any type of major injury. I've had rotator cuff, things that have hurt. I've had, from pitching and baseball, I've had, a little elbow discomfort, but I've never had any type of surgery or anything like that. But now at my age, I'm sitting here now and I have a forearm issue in my right bicep issue. My right shoulder's a little more dinged up than it ever has been. My left shoulder is dinged up at times. And if I don't take proper care of myself, if I don't ice, if I don't recover, if I don't stretch, if I don't sleep properly, if I don't hydrate properly, those things are going to get worse. If I don't take the proper days off, those are going to get worse. Some of these things that I used to be able to just push through or not even notice, they're becoming more noticeable, with age. That's just life, right? And the amount of stress that I do put my body under, right? Every morning I'm up at 4 a.m. Now, that's not what everyone's doing. But for myself, I'm up at 4 a.m. I go to bed between, most times now it's 8:45 to 9:30, sometimes 10 o'clock at night. But I'm up at 4 o'clock in the morning, right? That's stressful on the body as well. I'm up before most farmers are up. And I'm going to the gym and I'm putting in that work, and then I've also trained for half marathons and run a half marathon. I've done 2-a-days for a long time to where it is, well, I do weights in the morning and I do long cardio or short bursts of cardio in the afternoon. I've put my body through the test to see, how good of an athlete I can still be. But what I have also noticed is, again, at my age, there are things that pop up a lot more frequently than they ever have. In January, I ran the Grand Running Club 75-mile challenge, and I've done it 4 times before. And in the last 3 times prior to this one, I had no issues running, anything like that. This time around, I had a foot problem to where I couldn't run all the time. I had to take almost a week off. Actually, I did take a week off. Took a full week off to try and get my foot back to where I could potentially run 2 miles, 3 miles at a time, to where then I had to do walking to make sure that I got those 75 miles. I was still able to complete the challenge, but I had to have an entire mindset shift to learn how to deal with what I would consider an injury. I was injured, my foot, to where I didn't either stretch it properly. It probably had, I felt like I had tendonitis in my arch. Didn't stretch properly one run. I went maybe a little too hard on a run, whatever it might have been. I didn't give my body the proper recovery, and therefore I paid for it to where it was I had to take an entire week off, and you only have 4 weeks to complete this. And I'm not going out there running 8 miles at a time. My goal was 2 to 4 miles for every run, and I couldn't even do that. So, I've learned my lessons as well in regards to why recovery and rest are important, because you will see a decline in your performance if you don't have the focus for quality recovery, right? And a lot of times I think people forget, and I don't want to say people don't forget, I don't think people realize that sometimes doing less is more powerful than training more frequently, right? Or more, or heavier, or whatever, right? Your body is this incredible thing. It's this, as we always say, our body is our temple, right? So you want to take care of that temple. And a lot of times, doing less is more. We talk about it in business all the time and in life. Doing less sometimes can be more for whatever you might be. You might be getting in your own way. You might be, and that's exactly what it is, right? If you're not incorporating rest and recovery into your programming, into your workouts, you're getting in your own way. You're going to hurt yourself. And again, it might not happen right away. It might not happen in a year, but eventually it will catch up to you because your body will break down enough. That's just what happens to the human body, whether it is you get sick, your immune system kind of breaks down, or you have even worse things that can happen where it's called rhabdo. Now, what rhabdo is it's the breakdown of damaged muscle, which results in the release of muscle cell contents into the blood. So basically, it's your body poisoning itself because it's been overtrained. The proteins, and I'm reading this directly so I can give it to you. This is from the CDC, right? What is rhabdo? This is directly from the CDC. Rhabdo, the proteins and the electrolytes released in the blood can cause organ damage. Rhabdo can occur anytime muscle is damaged or killed. Okay? So what are some of the issues that come along with rhabdo? Kidney damage, kidney failure, dangerous heart rhythms, seizures, nausea, vomiting, permanent disability, and just like anything on WebMD or anything else, right? We always get the scare tactics here, but death, right? So muscle damage and rhabdo go hand in hand, and it can happen in whether it was just an accident, you could have just hurt yourself and damaged your muscle. It comes from heat. Your muscles can get damaged by heat if you're not hydrating properly, and or overuse, right? So that's directly from the CDC. That's what rhabdo is. It does happen quite a bit in athletes, and you have to basically then take time off. It's a forced recovery, but it can have very long-term, and again, of course, right? The CDC puts it out there. Death in certain situations, which you don't ever want to do. But it is, again, where the muscle tissue dies, it releases substances into the blood that can cause kidney failure and crushing damage to skeletal muscle tissues, not being able to move for a prolonged period of time, overexertion of muscles, heat stroke or overexertion of muscles, hypothermia, extensive burns. Well, where it happens, obviously, in regards to working out is your overexertion of muscles, which happens when you don't rest properly, right? You need rest and recovery. It is okay to have active rest days. So let's go into that because I just don't want to focus on the only thing is, rest and recovery, rest and recovery. That is obviously the topic of this conversation. Hold on, I'm getting some coffee. But at the same time, you can have an active rest day. Active rest days are totally fine. Absolutely fine. And like I said, certain activities for active rest days. Swimming, yoga, walking, Light jogging. If you're big into cardio and running, I wouldn't even jog. I would just do walking. Biking, again, light biking. If you have a foam roller, foam rolling, stretching, all of these things can be incorporated in an active rest day, and it doesn't have to be an hour long, right? It can be 20 minutes, it can be 10 minutes, but anything to kind of get the body moving without a lot of impact and without a lot of stress, and are easy on your joints and your muscles. Now, I've had programs as well that are, let me see, I'm trying to think of my half marathon training, because that was quite a bit of running, but every week there were 2 active rest days and 1 rest day, right? So it was 4 days of running, 4 to 5 days of running, and usually 2 active rest days and then a full rest day. And the active rest days, again, the suggestions were hiking, swimming, stretching, yoga, biking, the foam roller, anything to basically kind of, get the body moving, but not putting it under quite a bit of stress. So active recovery and active rest, absolutely incorporate it. But as I just said there, in a 7-day running program for running a half marathon, it was 2 active rest days or 1 active rest day, as well as a rest day, a full rest day. So even in those programs, there are rest days. They are extremely important. It gives you the time for your body to recover, adapt, and become stronger, and your nervous system a chance to regenerate. Rest and recovery are key to any program, any athlete, anybody that is really trying to stay fit, stay active long term, right? The injuries happen, right? Rest and recovery days aren't going to stop you from getting injured. There's no magic, answer for that. There's no easy way of potentially not getting injured. Accidents happen, injuries happen, but active rest, full rest, recovery are all keys to helping you stay active in the way that you want to stay active long term, right? It's always good to incorporate rest and recovery into your programming. I highly suggest it. If you don't do it, I would question why you're not doing it. I would question what is your real main goal? What is your, let's be honest, what is your mental block there on why you cannot have a rest day or why you don't incorporate a rest day into your programming? When you look at the best athletes in the world, your professional athletes, your Olympic athletes, your top echelon athletes, they all have rest days. Why, as an average Joe, you feel you can't have a rest day, I would really honestly question, because you're really long-term going to hurt yourself a lot more, and your body and your mind a lot more than you would if you incorporated a rest day and a recovery day. You're going to be a lot happier because, again, you will potentially burn yourself out. Your mind or your body's going to burn out, and you're going to hate what you once enjoyed and loved, because you've absolutely, it's like in work, right? If you work, and that is all you focus on, eventually you will burn yourself out. Something that you put so much effort and time and passion into, and all of a sudden you wake up one day and you go, I fucking hate this. I burn myself out. I have no motivation to do it anymore. I don't want to do it. I don't like it. It's the same for working out and staying fit, right? You have to have the ability for your body to recover. And when you do that, it allows yourself to continue on that path that you were trying to accomplish of bettering yourself and staying fit. And you'll be happier because you won't burn yourself out, and you'll be able to continue to see the results that you want to see, and you'll be able to see that your body can recuperate. And again, it doesn't have to be one day. It can be a week of rest, right? And if that is what you need, then that's what you need. Listen to your body. I will say that as well. Listen to your body. There are so many different things out there, right? Different mechanisms out there for rest and recovery, right? The chambers that you can go into, the cold chambers. You can do ice baths, you can go into saunas, you can stretch, you have all these yoga things, you have all of these things that are out there to help your body recover. Do you not think that that industry exists because, well, it's for the weak? No, that industry exists because it's exactly that. You need it. It's important. It exists because it has to exist. Now, do you have to go and do all of these certain things like I just mentioned, like the cold chamber and all that stuff? Absolutely not. You can still. It depends on. Here's the thing. It depends on who you are, what you're training for, and how strenuous your training actually is. Let's call it what it is. If you're a professional athlete, your trainers are going to put you through certain things. Your body is going to go through, a lot more strenuous things than me, or the 25-year-old kid that's in the gym just trying to work out, right? Like that's different. So, you're going to have different, avenues to recover where, we might just need to ice our elbow, take a day off, instead of going and lifting, I'm just going to go lightly ride the bike for 20 minutes at the gym, or I'm going to go on an hour walk because that's really not that strenuous to just get up and go on a walk for an hour or 30 minutes. Or today I'm going to do yoga and stretching, or today I'm just going to foam roll for 10 to 15 minutes and really hit the spots that are sore and that I know I worked, and that I'm going to then let the rest of the day kind of heal and recover. Those things exist. All of these things exist because they are that important to you and your body and your mind. I've said it 100 times already, maybe more. Rest and recovery are extremely important for you, okay? For all of us. And here's a great one from healthline.com. Are rest days necessary? And I'm going to end with this one. Whether you're a novice or a seasoned athlete, and this is what I've already touched on already multiple times, and I'm going to finish with this. Whether you're a novice or seasoned athlete, regular rest is crucial. It's necessary for muscle repair, preventing fatigue, and your overall performance. To make the most out of your rest days, do low-impact workouts like yoga and walking. These activities will help you stay active while letting your body recover. If you listen to this whole thing, rest and recovery are crucial for your training. I hope you take that advice. I hope you listen to that. I hope that you don't have programming that doesn't have any rest days in it, because if it does, I really encourage you to look at that and figure out why it doesn't, and what are you really trying to accomplish, and what is going to be the long-term effect of that versus the short-term gain. Thank you, everybody. I hope you enjoyed this episode. As always, this is Ryan Faber, your host of 2 Cents Worth.